What's up, my beautiful Do Life in a Body You Love chicks? I am like crawling out of my skin, excited to share something with you today that I created just for you, lovely listeners of this podcast. So I'll give you all the juicy details in a second, but essentially we are going to have a portal just for all of you who want to like live your best life right now. Like get back in the driver's seat of your life, feel fully in control, feel very joyful and purposeful, and be living your life with intention. And like, especially if you find yourself in this like mid-season of life where I'm at, I want you to feel fully fired up in midlife. So I'm loving the crap out of this season of life, but I know that that's not the case for a lot of you. And I'm going to confess to you right now, I did not always love my life. Okay. I've always been like a reasonably like happy person, I think. I mean, I guess I don't always seem that way, probably if you ask my husband. But to me, I feel like I'm a reasonably happy person, but I was not always a content person. Okay. And so when I was struggling, which was probably like 10 years ago, and started jumping down like the personal development rabbit hole, if you will, I feel like things kind of got worse for a minute. And this is a trap that I see a lot of people fall down, is like, we start looking for answers to the problems that we have. You may be doing that too. I mean, if you're here listening to this podcast, you probably either want to change something about your health, your relationships, how you change your habits, your mindset. Like there's a reason that you're here listening to this every week, right? And so what can start to happen is we just start ingesting a ton of content. If you're like me, I love to learn. And so give me all the books, give me all the podcasts, let me read all the things and just nerd out and learn, and never actually do anything with it. And I've certainly fallen into that trap. I've watched many people do it, both with their health and within business. So those are the only two things I've ever coached people on, is like health, life, businessy kind of things. Those are the arenas that I play in. But I'm going to guess, because I've seen it so prevalent in those areas, that it's probably true for like everything. And it's almost like a procrastination tool. Like we just like, I got to know everything before I can make a change or do anything. Or we ingest so much content, right, that we then just get overwhelmed. We're like, how am I supposed to do any of these things? So we're on this adventure. We're trying to change things, and we're digesting all of this content. We're not really making a whole lot of progress, but because we're listening to all of this like self-help, personal development kind of stuff, we do have higher expectations for ourselves now, right? We're like, yes, I can crush my goals. Yes, I can live with purpose. I can do all these things. We have this idea in our brain of how we want to live that's almost more accelerated than when we started on this journey. Only we're not really getting any closer. So now we actually feel worse about ourselves. And like I said, it's not that I was like unhappy before. Listen, I probably started jumping down this rabbit hole like 10 years ago. I don't even know, but I was a young mom. I had done all the things I was supposed to do to have a quote unquote good life. Okay. So I went to nursing school. Great. Now I can provide for these humans that I'm raising, and I have a good job, and I like my job. Like I liked being a nurse. I loved being a nurse. The problem was I didn't love the schedule, and my boys were little, and I hated how much I was away from them. So like I was away from them so much to get through nursing school. Like I was working and going to nursing school and getting a divorce. And like, hello, I was a little bit busy. But it was fine. It was doable. I made it happen. But at that time I felt like, okay, well, I'm missing out on this time with them, but it's going to be worth it because then I can provide for them and we can have a good life. Okay. So then I graduate and I think that, okay, I've arrived. I'm a nurse. Now I'm going to have all this money and I'm going to have all this time. And then what I realized was I didn't feel like I really had that much more money. I mean, I did, but you know, more money, bigger bills, or somehow it just vanishes, right? We get that lifestyle creeping in. And then also I didn't have more time. Like I was working a lot And I was stuck working a shift that I didn't want to work. I was stuck working night shift. So then when I was off from work, I felt like a zombie. And I thought, okay, well, once I graduated, everything was going to be better. Now I was like, okay, well, once I put in my time and I can get myself off of night shift, then it's going to be better. And then I was like, okay, so they're always going to be able to like mandate me as long as I work in the hospital setting. I don't really want to have a job anymore. I'm going to have a business. So I jumped down the network marketing rabbit hole. And it was just always like something like when this next thing happens, then I'm going to enjoy my life. And like I said, I wasn't miserable in any of these seasons of my life, but I felt like I was missing out. I felt like I was missing out on time with my kids. When I was with my kids, I felt like I wasn't fully present. I didn't have the social life that I wanted to have time to have. I certainly was not taking care of my body. Not at all. Especially when I was working 60 hours a week on night shift in an emergency room. I was literally like eating Cheetos for my dinner out of the vending machine because I had terrible eating habits to start. Like I was raised on junk food. I never had to worry about my weight when I was younger. It was like, I was always skinny until like, I feel like one day I woke up and I wasn't. And I was like, wait, what's happening right now? Where did my body go? Oh, you mean I have to eat good now? What does that look like? How do I do it? Which sounds crazy because I'm a nurse at the time. I should know what to do. But really, I've never had to do it. So you can understand things out of a textbook, and it doesn't mean that you know how to implement it in your real life, right? Knowing and doing, two very different things, as evidenced by the fact that half of the women who come into our Keep It Off Academy are also healthcare professionals because knowing and doing are not the same thing. So my body was a wreck. I was heading down some weird autoimmune path. My doctor wanted me to go to a rheumatologist and get all this figured out. And like, it was just a mess. I was overweight for me and uncomfortable. And I had aches and pains and bladder spasms and my skin was a disaster and just like all the things. And so I knew I needed to focus more on my body. I didn't want to feel like I felt. I wasn't even 30 yet. And I felt like I was falling apart. I was in a brain fog constantly, couldn't think. Now I'm starting to get grumpy because I don't feel good in my own skin. On the rare occasion that I was going to get to go out with my girlfriends, I would be so excited for a night out. And then I would go to get dressed and I would be immediately grumpy because I didn't like the way that I looked in any of my clothes. And I was like, this is stupid. I need to do something. And so then it was like quick fix for that. And then it was like, hurry up and try to make more money having a business or whatever so that I can buy back some of my time. But I was trying to force all of these things to bring me my happiness. And that does not actually work, friends. You're not going to find your contentment or your happiness in waiting for the next season of life to arrive. Don't wish your life away. Well, when the kids do this, then I can take care of me. Or, well, when my husband does that, then I can have a social life again. Or like whatever the stipulations are that you've been putting around your life, these little parentheses that we give the season of life that we're in. And then we think, then I'll conquer things. Nope, you won't. Every season is going to bring its own challenges and struggles and really enjoyable pieces too. And we have to live in the now and start designing what we want our life to look like, but not in this way where it's hustle, 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 grind, 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 achieve more, do more. When I get this thing, I'll be happy. That's not it. It is more about a mindset. So there is something to mastering your schedule and being the boss of your calendar and knowing how to change your behavior and your habits and prioritize yourself and establish boundaries and be healthier and budget your finances better so that you have money to do the things that you want to do. And like, there is something to doing all of those things, but there's multiple ways to attempt them. And when we have this grind, hustle, let me just be obsessed with getting through this little hiccup in my life right now, and then I'll be happy and content. We're missing it. We're missing the whole thing. The journey of getting wherever you are trying to get, I don't care what it is. I don't care what the thing is that you want to work on. Is it your relationships? Is it your finances? Is it parenting? Is it your marriage? Is it your health? Is it your faith? I don't care what it is. When you like where you're trying to go isn't even the most important part. The most important part is the journey to getting there. It's who you become in the process. You want to do it in a way where it's enjoyable. So we're always telling the women in our program, we're like, if you don't like the plan that we have for your weight loss, you need to speak up. We don't want you eating things you don't like. We don't want you doing workouts that you don't like, because we want you to enjoy the process. Life is about enjoying the process. Humans do feel better when we're accomplishing things and when we're growing. Like, we should constantly be up-leveling who we are, the way that we think, the questions that we ask ourselves, like all the things, right? You don't want to be the same person 20 years from now that you are today. That's not fun. Like, we want to be these cool, old, wise chicks once we're old, right? And so we do want to be growing as people, as moms, as business owners, as employees, like whatever all the hats are that you wear. It's cool to want to do better in those arenas, but not in this grind, hustle, I'm not good enough now kind of way. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, don't make the progress because you feel unworthy now. Instead, make whatever progress you want in life because you know that you are worthy, and do things in an enjoyable way. And so that's what I want to lock arms with you and like really nerd out about, but not in a let's binge a bunch of content way. I want to help you guys take strategic steps forward in your life. Okay, so here's the big news. I am launching today. You are the first to hear about this. If you're listening on the day that this episode goes live, you're the first to hear about this. The Do Life membership. This is going to be all about living midlife all fired up. Now, what if you don't consider yourself to be in midlife? Can you still join us? Yes, of course. The rule is you do have to be a female. Sorry, dudes, you're not invited. But midlife can look different for all of us. You could be 55 and have a toddler, or you could be like me if you were a young mom and be like 40 with adult children. Like, all of our lives look very different. You might be 60 years old, single, corporate America, grinding things out, total boss babe. Like, everybody's life looks different in midlife. So like the definition of midlife, I don't care what you call it. If you feel like you're in this season of life where things are changing, your roles are changing, your phase of parenting is changing, your body is changing. Maybe you're also a young perimenopauser like me. Yes, I'm 41. I'm already going through perimenopause. Like, what is happening right now? Regardless, we can like lock arms and make this season of life the very, very best season of life. We can do this together. And here's what this is going to look like if you choose to participate in this membership. Every month, I'm going to put out a new video in your private member portal. And not just a video for you to like listen to and be like, yeah, that's cool, great. Nope, there's always going to be an assignment with it. So a lot of times it's going to be thought work, or like making some mindset shifts, or putting an actual action plan into place to start making steps to getting the things that you want, or changing the way that you view things so you can be happy and content with what you have. Like, I don't know. Do you need to bring different things into your world? Are there some big shifts that you need to make? Or do you just need to make some mindset shifts? We're going to figure all of that out together. So you're going to get a video, you're going to get an assignment. Then we're also going to have like this Q&A thread. It'll go up in our private Facebook group in like the second week of the month. You can ask whatever you want on there. It can be about that month's topic, or it can be about something completely random that you want help like processing through, doing some mental reframing, coming up with strategic strategy to take action. So you can ask it on that thread. I'm going to go live in our private group and answer all of those and give you guidance and feedback and support in that way. And then at the end of every month, you're going to evaluate, How are you doing on the things that you said you wanted to make progress on? What tweaks do you need to make? We're going to celebrate all the steps that we're taking together so you guys can start developing consistency, showing up for yourself, keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So if you feel like there's some change you want to make, maybe you don't even know what it is, and we need to sort through that. That's fine too. We can work on getting clarity. What do you even want? It's a really good starting point, right? But that's way you can start making actual progress instead of just like binge watching a bunch of personal development content that doesn't lead to any like lasting change in your life. So here's how this will work. It is going to be a monthly membership. You can come and go as you want. There's no minimum requirements. It is, for right now, going to be $47 a month, but for listeners of the podcast and a few other people that I'm going to drop this to, you can get your first month half off. So I have a coupon code. I'm going to put all this in the show notes, you guys. What is the coupon code? Month 1, the number 1. So the word month, capital letters, number 1. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. So you'll just enter that on the website. It will automatically take half off of that first month. The official start date is not going to be until September 1st, but you can get access to it right now. We have content up in the portal ready for you to start making midlife totally magical for you and putting you back in the driver's seat of your life. And so if you want access right now, great. You can access it now. You can use that coupon, so you're getting half off. There are some other bonuses that are listed up on the website. And for our first month, instead of it just being like a Q&A where I'm live streaming it into the group for you, we're going to do an actual group coaching call, because I know the first month's going to be a little bit smaller, so we can totally handle this. And so we will get on a call. You can get help and coaching with whatever you want. So I'm like crawling out of my skin, like I said, excited about this. I can't wait to see who shows up in this membership. I'm so excited to do life with you chicks who feel like you want a little bit more structure, support, consistency. Maybe you're like, I don't need like full on coaching, but I do need some guidance and some structure because I'm just kind of like spinning my wheels here. And I would like to connect with other women who are also of this mind, and that we have like the same kind of like values, and we're all trying to just like make this our best season of life ever. So if you have questions about that, shoot me a message on Facebook. You guys know I'm an open book. You can ask me whatever you want. We're going to have random bonuses in there sprinkled throughout as well. Of course, because it's me, you guys will get some additional health resources. But even if you don't have a health goal, that's fine. That's not really what it's about. It's really about all the things to help you feel fully like alive in your life. I want you guys to feel like your life is so great. You can't wait to get out of bed in the morning. Like when your eyes pop open, you're like, yes, this day is going to be amazing. I freaking love my life. I cannot wait to crawl out of bed instead of hitting snooze 25 times and be like, oh God, I gotta go do this again. I remember that feeling. I hated that feeling. You do not have to feel that way. Let's go make this our best season of life ever. And I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. So check it out. See what you think. If you're hopping on board and you know some other cool chicks who you think would be a really great fit for something like this, invite them and go ahead and share the coupon code with them as well. The more the merrier. Let's fill this portal with the most amazing women. That's the fun of doing something like this. Like a membership like this is half of the fun is who we gather into this group with us. And so I cannot wait to see it unfold. Check it out. You can go to keepitoffcoaching.com/do life. I'll put it in the show notes, but in case you don't know where to find those, it's keepitoffcoaching.com/do life. It's up, it's live. You can access it now. I will see you there, my friend.